What is going on, guys? Jack here and welcome back to episode 21 of our Liverpool FC Football Manager 2016 Let's Play. Hopefully you guys are good. Today we've got a game against top of the table Tottenham. If you missed last episode, it'll kind of fill you in on a lot of what's been going on around the kind of team, as since that episode we have only played the one game. That was a 0-0 draw against Leicester in the FA Cup 4th round. A little bit of a pain to have another FA Cup game go into another leg because, well, you look at our fixtures here, they're pretty packed anyway, and so an extra game really isn't wanted. But we'll deal with that. And yeah, today we're going to be taking on Tottenham. So shorter episode, there isn't really too much to tell you guys about in terms of what's been going on at the team. But you can see here, Tottenham top of the league. They are 4 points ahead of us, but they have played 2 more games than us. So winning our 2 games in hand would see us go 2 points ahead of them. So today's game is actually very, very significant. A win here, and we reduce the deficit between ourselves and Tottenham to just the 1 point, and we'd still have the 2 games in hand. So that's really got to be the aim today. Looking at our team, not too many injuries to tell you guys about. Mamana's still unfortunately out injured, but he's going to be back soon from his broken collarbone he suffered at the start of last month. Danny Ings out for 3 to 4 weeks with a sprained ankle. Was that a sprained ankle? Yeah, sprained ankle. So that's a bit of a shame. But besides that, I don't think there's any new injuries to tell you guys about. Team conditions looking pretty good. The players pretty well rested for this game. I rotated the team pretty heavily for the FA Cup game, which is kind of my excuse for drawing 0-0 against Leicester, I guess, was just the fact that I elected to rotate the team as heavily as possible. Obviously, we have a lot of strength in depth in our squad, and unfortunately for us, there just wasn't enough strength in that depth, and as a result, we drew against that Leicester side. But anyway, looking through our team, things looking pretty good. I'm going to do a quick little squad rundown so we can talk about some of the big performers. I guess the obvious one to talk about is Alexander Lacazette, top goal scorer for the club at the moment. 18 goals, 10 assists so far this season for the French international. Looking like an absolute bargain. I say bargain. With £43 million spent, I guess you want a return on your money, and so far he's given that to us. I guess you can't really call a player who costs more than £40 million a bargain, but nevertheless he's performed very well. Daniel Sturridge doing well too. 14 goals for him now this season, 8 of which have come in the league, which is really pleasing. 5 of which have come in the Champions League too. So he's been a big player for us in ensuring we kind of reached our expectations in that competition. The England internationals looking good, no injuries to speak of, which is delightful, and he's enjoying his football playing for us. Other goal scorers, well, Vlasic is getting a lot of goals over in France, the young Croat. As you can see, 2 goals in 2 international appearances too for the national team of Croatia. He's only 19, this guy, playing a lot of football in France, and he's thriving under it, and to get almost a goal a game as a midfielder is not too shabby at all. And Bolo also doing well on his loan at Bournemouth in the Championship. You'd kind of expect that, but he has been performing very well for them. And one other player just to tell you guys about, of course, Firmino, who's been struggling a little bit of late to get some solid first-team football. A few injuries holding him back this season, but when he's been fit, he's been playing well. And he's doing a good job for us. In terms of assists, no real surprise that Lacazette is up there, but there's a few other newer players like Klein, who obviously don't feature in the goal-scoring charts, who are worth a mention. Klein, 7.52 average rating at the moment, having a fantastic season. Coutinho also doing really well. 1 goal and 2 assists in the last 5 games. I love these new panels. They're so useful for showing off little bits of information that I can't otherwise show you guys. But yeah, just doing a great job for us as kind of that number 10, that centre attacking midfielder, really pulling the strings. Creating a lot of opportunities for us. Sturridge and Lacazette also up there. Obviously, those 2 guys forming a really nice partnership. Jordan Henderson doing well in the box-to-box midfielder role. Actually improving a fair bit, which is quite nice for the 26-year-old. His injury at the start of last season did kind of cause him to decline just a little bit, but he's put that behind him, and he's looking like a really good player for us, and a player who's going to certainly be a key part of our team this season. So that's a little bit about that. In terms of average ratings, I don't think there's any or rather too many other players to tell you guys about. I guess it's worth giving Zuma a mention. 7.3 average rating for him at the moment this season. He's performing very well, the young French international. Only 22, it's worth remembering, and he's been a quality player for us, of course. Got a few big goals for us against the likes of Chelsea in that 3-2 win a few episodes ago. He's been doing well. And Moreno's also done okay, I guess. 7.15 average rating for him. Worth a mention. And Sacco. To be fair, our defence has been very impressive this year. I mean, if you look at the league table and we look at how good we've been defensively, you can see here we've conceded 24 goals in 22 games. It's not the best defensive record in the league by any means, but it's fairly solid, all things considering. And we've also scored 53 goals, of course. Looking at our home form just real quick, you can see, if we sort by position, we have a unbeaten home record at the moment, which is really pleasing. As you can see, Arsenal and Tottenham also hold that, as do, is that Manchester United? It is. United also unbeaten at home. So quite a few teams unbeaten at home. Away from home, we've lost 2, won 5, drawn 3. I guess that's an area to improve upon. But who knows? I mean, it's still not a bad total by any means to be there on our away form. But our home form is really what is carrying us. I guess at the moment this season it's been great. Obviously, there are 11 wins in 12 games at home is just ridiculously good, and I'm hoping for more of the same today, as we are going to be taking on Tottenham, who of course are also alongside us at the top of the table, and also a team in a rich vein of form. Just a quick look at the Tottenham side. They have signed a few new players, so I guess it's worth having a look at their team in a little bit of detail. You can see here they've got some pretty good players across the pitch. They've also got the likes of Memphis Depay, who's actually out injured at the moment. They picked this guy up from United for £30 million. I thought that was a little bit of an odd transfer, but he didn't play, I guess, amazingly for United in that first season. However, since his move to Spurs, despite his injury of late, he's been doing well for them. They've also got Berardi, the Italian player. They've got some really nice talent, and I'm actually quite impressed with how their teams look in Tottenham. There's a reason why they're up there at the top of the table ahead of the likes of Arsenal, City, Chelsea, United and ourselves, and it's because they've slowly gone about their business well. And Pochettino, I assume it's Pochettino still in charge, it is, has signed some nice players over the last year. They did finish 6th last year in the league, but this year they've come out the blocks, and they're looking like, I guess, one of the main title contenders along with ourselves and Arsenal. But anyway, let's not get kind of too hooked up on the stats and all that stuff. We need to get into the game. We need to do our talking on the pitch here against Spurs. And I'm hoping that we can get a good result here. It's going to be a pretty standard Spurs tactic. They've caused us a few kind of problems, I guess, with their 4-2-3-1 in the last few seasons. Of course, I guess a memorable game which they didn't cause us trouble in, but we lost, was the Europa League final last year, which we dominated. A win here would obviously be massive for our title kind of challenge. Looking at kind of some of the results against big teams in this league this year, compared to last year especially. Obviously, we beat United 3-0, we beat City 4-1, we've beaten Chelsea 3-2. We've got some big wins against the big teams, and Spurs are a team that we need to do that against. We lost them in the first kind of game of the season. We have a chance there. Lacazette in the 6-yard box probably should do better with the finish, but at least it's a good early sign that maybe we're creating a few opportunities as now Coutinho gets it. Is there another chance here? Sturridge turns his man, cutting inside. Lacazette still ahead of him. Well, it's a very ambitious effort, but unfortunately for Sturridge, it's almost gone out for a throw-in, which is just a little bit less than ideal. But looking at the stats early on, fairly 50-50. No one really standing out early on, although Spurs yet to have a shot on target. And we're on the attack here. Lacazette, Sturridge up ahead. Lacazette goes round 1, goes round 2, hits it, forces Lloris into a save. A nice run there, forcing the save. However, it is one of those Football Manager highlights, I guess, where a player takes on a few players and then just smashes it, and the commentator says, what a goal that would have been. We've had 2 of them so far. I want Lacazette and Sturridge to really link up with one another. Coutinho going to be providing them the service today. We're pretty much playing what I'd consider to be our strongest team. It's quite nice to not have any injuries to kind of contend with. I guess the Ings one is one that you could argue impacts our first team just a little bit, but compared to when we've had the likes of Witsel out injured, we've also had Zuma, I guess, suspended, Henderson injured last year. It's just nice to have our full team and full strength and really have, I guess, flexibility and a choice when it comes to our starting 11. And today I've elected to go with what I think is our best kind of choice. But anyway, Tottenham on the attack here. They're still yet to have a shot on target, but we've got to be wary. They've got a good men out wide. One of them is Berardi here. He's going to pull it back to Valero. Can we stop and get the shot away? We can't. But Ericsson to Chadley, and that is Mignolet, I think, with a fine save. Tipping it over the crossbar. First clear-cut chance of the game going Spurs' way. So that's something that we've got to be aware of, you know. We're dominating the game, perhaps, you could argue. We're having a lot more shots, certainly. And with Spurs' first chance of this first half, they've had a real opportunity, and it's taken a monumental effort by Mignolet to tip it over the crossbar there from Chadley's shot. But anyway, at half time, it's looking like it's going to be 0-0. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy with how they're playing. I want us to get a little bit fired up. I want us to be a little bit, I guess, what's the word? I want the players to be up for it. Only Sturridge reacted badly, but we've managed to cheer him up by just telling him that we have faith. So a good half-time team talk too. I'm going to leave it until around the 60-minute mark before I make any changes, unless we concede prior to that, and then in which case I might make a few changes that little bit sooner. But it's been a fairly close game. We've not had anyone really come up and kind of stand out kind of performance-wise for us in the first half, but I'm looking for the players to do it here as Coutinho has that long-range effort saved. Sturridge, though, with the rebound, has a shot saved, and it will be cleared away. That was another chance. Coutinho with the initial effort, parried wide by the keeper, and Sturridge from a narrow angle just couldn't quite find its way to goal, and unfortunately for us, a second save came out. But looking at the stats, we're dominating the game. It's something that I believe very heavily in, I guess, in Football Manager, is that there's no point in changing your system if you're playing well. Sometimes you just got to be patient. Sometimes, like in real football, you can be being the better team. You might be all over them, and you've just got to give it time. You've just got to be patient with your breakdown, and there's no point in going into rash tactical decisions, throwing men forward and such, and kind of completely changing your tactic in desperate hope of you getting the winner. But anyway, looking at it here, pretty disappointing for Coutinho today. I'm going to take him off, I think. We're going to move Firmino into the final third, and then I'm going to bring on... I'm going to go with Bazoer to go into the roaming playmaker role on the right-hand side. I'm hoping he can do something for us. I'm also going to move Henderson into... I'm going to take off Henderson as well. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that originally, but I am. Witsel isn't as good defensively as you might expect. His tackling and marking's a little bit lacking, and I'd rather play Henderson in that kind of centred defensive mid-role that we have in our formation. However, with a booking already to his name, I'd rather just bring on Thiago Maia to, I guess, add a level head there and not risk the red card. Although, got a chance here, Bazoer to Thiago Maia, the man of the moment. Actually, I believe the player with the highest pass completion in the club. I think it's at 92% for Thiago Maia, as we have a chance here, although it's a pretty poor ball into the box by Klein, and Lloris will collect. But looking at it here, 17 minutes left, still anyone's game. A goal here for either side would probably put them in control. Well, it would put them in control. There's no probably about it, and it would probably result in them winning the game, because this has been a game of few real clear-cut chances. We are building it around patiently here, though. We've got plenty of options down the middle. Some nice, crisp passing. Klein is out wide for Sturridge, but Sturridge cuts inside. Can he hit it? He can. What a goal that is. Cutting in from that right-hand side. Firmino passes it to him, and Sturridge, he gets the ball and he puts the team on his back and he says, I'm going to get a key goal for you here, Gaffer. It's a beautiful goal. I'm hoping we're going to get a good angle of this goal. We are. So Sturridge cutting inside, takes on one. You know, he's got men all around him, but he manages to squeeze out a shot, and the keeper can't even react to it. He probably doesn't see it till late. There was a lot of bodies in front of him. Vertonghen now injured too. Have a set piece here. Firmino whips it in. Sacco headers it in at the near post. It's 2-0. This is an ideal result against the team top of the table. Spurs have an amazing defensive record. I knew it was going to be tough to break them down, but right now, right here, we are showing our worth and showing that we are indeed title contenders this year. We are going to be at about 3/5 of the way through the season after this game. And to be in the position we're in is absolutely incredible. If we could get one more, you know, just for the goal difference, that would be absolutely amazing. Don't want to get too greedy, though, of course. We need to defend. There is still time for Spurs to potentially get to, and we've got to be wary of that. We've had a lot of late goals ourselves in recent games. We, of course, got that memorable late goal against Chelsea. I also got one against Newcastle in the league. We can't get too kind of carried away, I guess. We've just got to focus on what we're doing here, and we've done some nice defensive work there. Now we are going to look to break, try and get that third. Lacazette inside to Witsel. Spurs chucking a lot of men forward, but we're crafting out a really nice passing move here. And Lacazette, can he finish it off? He can't. Hits the side netting, unfortunately, but At least it's not a goal for Spurs. And 2 minutes left. I think that's going to be all she wrote for this game. A fantastic team performance. Couldn't have asked for more from the team. Our subs, they worked a little bit of magic. As I said, kind of at the early stages of the second half, I didn't really want to do anything rash with our system. We were the better team, and it was just a case of trying to be patient, waiting for that dominance to kind of come through. And it's been a good performance there by the entire team. Firmino, with 2 assists, really stepped up to the mark when we moved him into that more advanced position that Coutinho vacated during the early subs, and he's done a good job for us there. 2 assists to his name. A fantastic result. As you can see, we're now only 1 point behind Tottenham, and we have 2 games in hand. Arsenal won as well, so they maintain their 1 point gap behind us, but of course they have played 2 more games too. Man City currently sit 7 points behind us, but we have 1 game in hand on them. And then if we look even further back, United, 25 games played, 42 points. We're 13 points clear of them with 2 games in hand. If we win both of them, we'd be 19 points clear in the Champions League spots, which would be beyond what I could ever have imagined this year. So that's a fantastic result this episode. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode, guys. If you did, please do smash the like button. I do greatly appreciate your support on the series. Fantastic result there. Hopefully we can march on now. The next game will be against Real Madrid in the Champions League. It's going to be one hell of a challenge ahead of us. We are also going to have the Capital One Cup coming forward and coming up very soon. So plenty of fixtures to look forward to. And yeah, that's going to wrap things up from me, guys. Thank you for watching as always. If you have enjoyed, I've already said smash the like button. Leave a comment, let me know what you made of that result. And yeah, other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.